Hi, I'm Rochelle Bradley, and this is Nicole L. Bates.
Hi.
I'm in Frankfort, Michigan, and I'm up here on vacation with my family, and I found out that she is a fairly local author. I don't know how close you are to this area, but I know you're around here.
Yep, right in Frankfort.
And I got excited because I love meeting new authors and talking shop.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, put you on the spot.
Okay.
What has inspired you, or when did you start your writing journey, and what inspired you to start?
When I was very young, I loved to write, and I wrote a lot of stories as a kid, but I guess I didn't feel like I was good enough to make a career out of it or think about going to college to learn to write at the time. So I actually went to college to get my degree in speech-language pathology.
Oh, cool.
And I did that full-time for many years until I had my oldest son. And when I was first staying home with him, I began to write, and that was, I guess, the beginning of this publishing journey. So at that time I wrote Empyrean while I was home with my son, but that was actually the first draft. Didn't come to fruition, I guess, until about 9 years later.
Okay.
So I did a lot of editing and looking for agents and more editing and rewrote the story and all kinds of stuff.
Perfected
before.
your craft.
Yeah, tried.
So you have a 3-part series.
Yes.
And it's sci-fi.
Yes.
But how would you describe it?
I describe it as a science fiction adventure.
Okay.
And it is probably more toward the soft science fiction end. And there's the first one. Yeah. It's not hard science fiction. It takes place on another world.
Okay.
And I hope to continue to write in that world.
Okay.
But the first 3 books follow primarily 2 characters, but there are some other characters that are important to that piece of the story that are in there as point of view characters, but mainly those 2 characters, this is sort of their story.
So the first one's kind of like their origin story?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't read it yet. I just bought it today, so.
Thanks.
So it is a trilogy. Are you planning to do spin-off, or is it done, or how are you?
That's so I hope to continue in this world, and these characters will probably still be present in some of those stories, but they won't be the main characters.
Okay. Is there romance, or is it mostly?
There is some, but it is not intense or graphic.
Okay.
So there is a romantic element,
right?
Yeah, but it mainly focuses on the adventure.
How would you describe or compare what is similar to your work, or?
Well, I have always been a big fan of the Pern series.
Okay.
And I kind of have that in mind as far as continuing to write in that world with different main characters. But as far as the story, it's so maybe a little bit like the movie Avatar.
Okay.
Because it's a human who interacts with a native inhabitant with the planet. Yeah. Similar.
So tell us a little bit about the world. Are there magic, or what's special about, what makes this different than Earth?
Okay. It's not magic per se, so it's not a fantasy novel, but on this world it's primarily covered with water. There's 3 different continents. On the continent where the native inhabitants are at first is covered with a glacier, and they're sort of stuck there trying to get off and back to where they originated from, and that's where the humans land.
Okay. So they are like humans from our world?
Yes.
Okay.
But they were on a generation starship, so they grew up in a human-made world that went through space and colonized other planets.
So they have no idea what actual planet is like.
Yeah, what
other than
planet
simulated.
life is. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's cool because
Yeah.
that creates conflict right there.
Yeah, yeah, and where the humans land is there is a grove of what I call trees, not exactly to what our trees are like, but they have silver trunks and they can't be cut, and they produce fruit throughout every season.
Oh, cool. Is it different fruit or is it the same fruit?
Different.
Oh, that's neat.
Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. And then there are pools of silver liquid also that have some healing power, some healing aspect to them.
So this is the first in the series. Is this the human or is this the alien?
That's the human.
Okay. I just, I didn't know how much.
Sure. How much they look like humans. Sure.
I like space. I mean, I like sci-fi stuff. I mean, I'm Star Trek.
Yeah.
Firefly.
Yeah.
And I love all that stuff. So I'm excited to read this.
Great. Yeah, Firefly is one of my favorites. We've watched that so many times. I'm trying to think if there's another show that. Well, I mean Star Trek in a way, because they take ships to other planets and meet other species and things. So there's some of that.
Yeah,
going
and there's
on.
Shenanigans, and you got to solve problems.
Yeah.
All right, you started writing kind of like how I did when my son he went to kindergarten. I found myself having a little bit more free time because he's my youngest.
Okay.
And I decided to try to get the imaginary people who kept talking to me out of my brain.
Yeah.
And then I started, just jotting things down and not knowing anything about writing, it's a total blank page there. Because I went to the library. I remember walking in there thinking, I'm going to get a couple books on writing and try to learn how to do this right. So, because I want to, do it right.
Yeah.
And was so overwhelmed with how many books are.
Yeah.
I walked right back out with nothing. You have a third just released, right?
Yes, just released. July 6th, the third book came out.
So do you have an arching plot, or is it a new adventure each book?
There are definite tie-ins from the first through the third book. Different problems, I guess, happen in each book, so it's not one problem that's introduced in the first book that takes all three books to solve.
Okay.
If that
makes
so
sense. each one solves their own little problem, but okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thanks.
So,
it's very exciting.
Yeah, when you get the trilogy.
Yeah. I know. I feel like that's a huge accomplishment. The third one, the second one happened really fast. Like I wrote it really fast. I got it released really fast. The third one took a little longer. We moved to a new house and then had a new baby, and then
life.
I was homeschooling, well, not just because of school being shut down and everything. So it took a little extra time, but we got there.
That's awesome. I mean, that's amazing feeling though to get when you get 3. I don't know what it is about that. It's like a magic number, especially when you're writing a series. It just, I don't know. There's a feeling of accomplishment you get.
Yeah.
I mean, did it feel different to you?
It did. Yeah. I mean, the first one is amazing and exciting, and then when you get to the third one, it's sort of like, okay, I feel sort of legitimate. I followed through. I finished this. Now I can move on. Yeah.
So, what would your advice be to other writers, someone who's just starting?
Gosh, there's so much, but I guess keep going, keep trying. I mean, there are so many stories that haven't been told. Everybody has a different perspective on things, and as a reader, I mean, I love reading, and I read a new book every couple of days, and so from a reader perspective, you're always searching for new books and your
next favorite author.
Yeah, and I don't think there can really be any shortage. So just keep going.
Writing.
Yeah, find a way to do it. Yeah.
Do you belong to any writing groups or clubs of, beta
On-
reader or, in those kind of groups?
Online, I have some writing groups that I'm a part of, and I have met a lot of writer friends through those groups. I haven't met that many in person, so this is exciting. Yeah. And locally, unfortunately, I don't have a group or anything. It would be fun, but just I have 3 kids,
Right.
so getting to those events is a challenge.
Have you ever done National Novel Writing Month?
I haven't. I have heard a lot about it, and I have always been interested in kind of seeing if I could push myself, to write that.
Well, you might be
much.
able to. I mean, they group them by region, so it might be a good time for you to, because they have what they call write-ins, where you go and write together,
Oh,
and you just. I mean, it's really quiet usually. You're just
Sure.
sitting around writing together, but you're not alone.
yeah.
And then if you have a plot question or you need a name for an old man or something,
Yeah.
somebody just
Oh,
can
that's
throw
a
it out.
fun idea. I didn't know that.
So if it's NaNoWriMo.org, and then you just go on there and look for your region. And I belong to the Cincinnati region, the Indianapolis region, the Dayton region, and also the Richmond, Indiana region too, just because, well, I'm an ML, which is the fancy word for volunteer,
Okay.
over the Dayton region.
Okay.
So I encourage people to write. And I set up the write-in, so a lot of local libraries do it.
Okay.
But we go and meet at Panera or local coffee shops.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and we just sit around and write.
Hey, sounds great.
And where can everybody find you?
I am on Facebook as Nicole L. Bates. I have a personal account and a Facebook author page. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Goodreads, and I have a blog as well, though I don't update that as often. The social media is more active.
So follow her.
Yay!
Hi, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the interview today. If you did, please leave a like and let the author know that you appreciated them being put on the spot. And if you'd like to be put on the spot, please contact me. You can get in touch with me by just commenting below, or you can, I'm on Facebook, just send me a direct message. Thank you. That's all for now, and see you next time when I put somebody else on the spot.